And I like this word for enticed because it was a hunting term or a fishing term. It's the idea of a hook. And obviously this isn't enticing, so what do? I brought some worms, gummy worms, and it's this whole idea of what you do to a fish, because this word is the idea of drawing a fish away from its retreat, and it's about dangling something. Okay, this is what Satan does to us all day. Just kind of goes, Come on, just take it. It looks good, doesn't it? Just take it. He's doing everything to entice you out of this place. He's doing everything to entice you out of your family. He's trying to do everything to entice you. Come on, just take it. And when the hook's covered up, come on, you can't tell. And it's the same thing we do with a fish, just kind of luring it out of its retreat. Come on, just take it. Because the moment that fish takes it, you got him and the fight is on, right? And it's that same idea. And the thing is every once in a while, we're wise enough to not take the bait. And so what does Satan do? Give up? No? He goes, okay, that didn't work. All right. Guess they're not going for worms today. Here's $100. All right, here we go. Come on. I got this last service. Come on. You just take it. And then suddenly it's like, okay, and because it's like, come on, you guys don't have to be at church this morning. You could be making some of this. You're sitting here, you lose money coming here. You throw it in the plate. You could follow me and actually get some of this. And he just keeps switching and switching. Okay, money's not going to do it for you? Let me try something else. All day long this goes on for us, right? Where Satan just goes, okay, ripped it. Oops, that's illegal, huh? Okay, but it's this whole idea of, man, things are just being dangled. But the truth is that's not even a correct reflection, I don't think. I mean, to me, it's like we're bombarded here in Southern California. It's not even like one thing. This is what I feel like living in Southern California. This is what it feels like. It's like you're just, oh man, all around. It's like everywhere you turn, it's like, man, something is tempting you. Don't you feel like this? So what do you do? What are we supposed to do when we live in a land where it's like everywhere I turn, it's like something's just grabbing for my attention, trying to pull me away from God, right? It's just crazy. That's the world we live in. And so what do? We close our eyes? You guys want to try to take the hat off? We can run up in the mountains somewhere, start our own little commune, and where there's just no temptation allowed. Is that the answer? Do we leave the world somehow and get away from it? You can't. Temptation's going to be everywhere. It surrounds us. It's dangling in front of our face every second. And so what do? Here's what we do. You ever have those times where maybe you're driving and you've got to get to a location so fast, and you're just looking at the traffic, you're looking at this road, you're looking at red lights, everything else, and you're so focused, and there could be a friend in the car next to you, like waving. Has that ever happened to you? Like, hey, and they tell you later, dude, I was doing everything, I'm honking my horn, you didn't even look. And you go, I'm sorry, I was just so focused. I was just so I didn't even notice you. I'm so sorry that I blew you off. The Bible says, don't close your eyes to temptation. Don't just keep running from it. The Bible says, fix your eyes. Fix your eyes on Jesus, the author and perfecter of our faith. He says, set your mind on things above, not earthly things. It's the idea of a person being so focused on this love relationship where he's constantly going, I love you, that you're not even noticing anything else. You don't know what else is going on in the room. You're just so focused on Jesus, so in love, and so thinking about eternal things. That's the idea. We can't run from temptation. We can't just keep running our whole lives. We have to run toward Jesus, the author and perfecter. We have to fix our eyes on Him so that all these things are dangling in front of our face, but we don't even notice it because we're so focused. Understand, that is the key to resisting temptation. It's running toward a love of God. That's why the Bible says, look, if you love God, everything's going to be fine. If you love your neighbor as yourself, you can't sin against them. As long as you keep loving, as long as you keep pursuing the things you're supposed to pursue, that's when you don't see the other things because you're focused on the goal. But every once in a while, we see something dangling in front of our eyes, right, and we turn. And the Bible says at that moment, he goes, after that desire, verse 15, he goes, then desire, every once in a while, that desire, it takes. Rather than repulsing, because you have a choice. We all feel it, but the moment you feel that temptation, that's not the sin right there. Because we're going to see things that catch our eye, but the choice then is ours. Do we encourage by staring longer, or do we repulse and run and just focus our eyes on Jesus again? See, but if you take, he says, after desire has conceived, and that word conceived is the picture of the egg taking the sperm. This idea of this fertilization of, I chose to look longer. I chose to desire it. I started to want whatever that temptation was. He says, after desire has conceived, it gives birth to sin. See, sin, the word there is for missing the mark. And I used to think, okay, it's like aiming this arrow, at the bullseye, and I just missed the bullseye. But the reality of what he's talking about here is, it's not that you just missed the bullseye. It's that you started aiming at something else. You took your eyes off of the goal, the target, and you started looking at someone else. That's why you missed the mark. And he says that it becomes sin. He goes, and sin, when it's full grown, it gives birth to death. Now understand, you may not see it here, but there's a graphic illustration in the Greek here. It's a picture of this fertilization of an egg is the conception. And he says, and then this sin is born. And when it says, when it is full grown, it's the picture of this baby developing within the womb. And he says, but then when you give birth, it's a stillborn baby. And it's like, oh. And I've been with families that have gone through that. And it's like, oh, I had all this hope of it was going to bring so much joy. And some of you have gone through this. So much joy and all this anticipation. And then you get there and you're like, oh, all of that and this is what I'm left with? A stillborn child? And the pain and the grief? He says that's what sin does. But it looks so good. I thought everything was developing and everything was good. And then at the end it's like, oh, an empty wallet? A broken cistern? An empty well? And I left that. I left the spring of living water. I left my love. The one who loved me and provided, and that inheritance. I left all of that for this. And that's why he says in verse 16, don't be deceived. Don't be deceived, my beloved brethren. He goes, I love you so much. God's going, I love you so much. Don't take the bait. You have these desires inside of you that'll want to pull you away because you'll see something. Don't go for it. Because it ends in death. And that word for death, it means a separation. We think of death as separation from our spirit, from our body. Spiritually, it talks about a separation between you and God. And eventually that sin leads to an eternal separation where there's no longer a chance to ever get back together with God. That's what sin will do as it develops and grows and grows. And pretty soon you stand before God and you go, whoa, I gave you up. I chose all of that junk over you. And now I get an eternity away from you because I chose those things over you. And it ends in this eternal sadness where you go, I can't believe I left that for this. And it's a literal hell. And that's why James goes, don't do it. Don't get pulled away. Some of you right now, you're being sucked in by so many things. And some of you this week, man, the bait was just out there and you're nibbling at it, you're just looking at it. Rather than swimming away, you're just going, oh. And some of you, you just bit it, hook, line, and sinker, and you're being pulled away right now. And you don't even want to be in this room right now because your heart's somewhere else. And I'm just telling you, don't be fooled. Don't be deceived. It's never going to work out for you. It never has in the history of this planet, and you won't be the first one. Don't turn your back on a father who loves you, on a husband who's given everything and saying, man, this could all be yours. There's one reason I want to leave you with, and hopefully you got from this morning. There's one reason why you should walk away from whatever temptation you're facing right now. There's just one reason. God is better.